Destructive individuals and these use deception and undue influence to make people dependent and obedient. A group should not be considered one merely because of its unorthodox beliefs. It is typically authoritarian, headed by a person or a group of people with near complete control of followers. Its influence is designed to disrupt a person's authentic identity and replace it with a new identity. There are many types of these: political, religious, self-help, large group awareness trainings, mini-sized, family or one-on-one, multi-level marketing, conspiracy theory, commercial, and labor/sex trafficking. I'm talking about cults. What exactly is a cult? It's whatever this is.
This is Trump golfing after an assassination attempt. This is also Trump golfing after an assassination attempt. This is Trump at the RNC with a huge bandage all over his ear that he did not have when he was golfing after an assassination attempt.
Any questions?
Any questions?
What I just said was written in an article from Psychology Today, which aims to help others understand the basics of cults. Quote, "To help others, it is important to understand mind control and undue influence." So, after night 3 of the Republican National Convention, and with the limited knowledge of mind control that I just provided, let's see if you can tell how the GOP is influencing others.
As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now. You're damn right. Because you're going home.
It wouldn't be fair of me to expect you to get it right from the first clip I've shown. Here's another.
He will arrest the criminal illegal immigrants and put them behind bars. Or send them back.
It's subtle. Did you catch it? Let me give you one more example.
And a whole army of illiterate illegal aliens stealing the jobs of black, brown, and blue-collar Americans. They put them right on your front doorstep.
Wait, did you say deportation? Oh, I was going to say old rich white men. But yeah, deportation now has been a common theme of theirs.
Every single evening this week, the Republican National Convention is printing signs for delegates and attendees to wave. And tonight's sign is very revealing of where the party is right now. It says mass deportations now. Mass deportations now. That is the kind of policy that is alarming, even cruel, even un-American to folks on the left. And that is the intended effect. Someone I spoke to just a moment ago said it's going to make heads explode. And you may wonder, is that where the Republican Party is today? I did a little digging. I can tell you from my reporting during the primary season talking to voters, the answer is absolutely yes. And the answer from pollsters is absolutely yes. 3 out of 4 Republicans want immigration to decline in America, and they believe that immigration brings in drugs, brings in crime, and makes the economy worse, even, quote, reduces social and moral values. On top of that, a full 80% of Republicans, according to CBS News' own polling, agree with Donald Trump when he says that illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of the country, one of his most explosive phrases. When you think about the journey that the Republican Party has taken from the party of George W. Bush and his efforts to reform immigration in this country, some of his primetime addresses about America's history as a country of immigrants, to where we are now, it is quite a journey, and something we'll be chewing over not only this evening, but I think for years to come.
All of this in the midst of the GOP wanting to tone down their dangerous and destructive messaging to keep up appearances, which, I mean, Republicans use other ways to do that too. Speaking of, I don't think they've bagged on drag queens while wearing a lot of makeup. So, I mean, not going to give them credit for that, but people want to look good in front of the leader. Even with that, the RNC is impressing others too.
because I've been so struck, not just by what we've heard, Kristen, but what we have not heard this whole week. All the rally favorites, the greatest hits about the 2020 election being stolen. No one's mentioning it. Political grievances, weaponizing government. Nobody's mentioning it. Nobody's calling the January 6th rioters patriots or hostages. All of that seems to have been excised from what the Republican Party is trying to portray here on this stage. It is notable.
It's very notable, and we are told that the Republican National Committee did urge some of these speakers to tone down their language in these speeches, and so clearly we're hearing a reflection of that in these speeches. It represents a shift. It represents, to some extent, what we heard from former President Trump after the assassination attempt against his life, which is that he ripped up his speech completely, that he has rewritten his speech. I interviewed Eric Trump today. He says his dad is finished with that rewrite. He has said it will be a call for unity. Now, we're not exactly hearing that in every speech, but you're absolutely right, Savannah. It is so notable that these speeches are toned down and devoid of some of that typical red meat that you hear from former President Trump and from his allies.
To expand beyond just the base. They'll need to get past the base.
It's a recognition that they want to reach out to those suburban voters, that they want to reach out to those who aren't necessarily in the Republican tent right now, that former President Trump feels confident his base is always going to be there. But this is really the first time we've tried to see him soften his edges. We saw that in some of the speeches last night where Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who served as his press secretary, talked about him as a grandfather, as a father. Laura Trump, his daughter-in-law, did the same. And it's a clear strategic move, not only to meet this moment and the mood of the country, this somber backdrop against which we all sit here, but again, to try to win over some additional voters.
It's this short-sighted nonsense from NBC News that leads people to think that Republicans are not only going to create Blistonia, but they're going to get rid of brown people in order to do it. Not that the Simpsons predicted this specifically. The right is willing to put bandages on their ears, but didn't want to wear masks on their faces. If liberals or the left or progressives were anything like that, right now, we would be feigning COVID symptoms or struggling to get in a car or downstairs. For Really American, I'm Jeff Wiggins. My architect knows Japanese.
This is what it's all about. Hey, y'all. If you're a true patriot, then you'll sport one of these limited edition, one of a kind, Trump ear bandages. Maybe if you're lucky, Donald Trump will sign it for you. Don't I look good? Don't I look like a patriot? Get your Patriot Patch today.